Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is in approximately 1 in 5 women, and it makes you want to break up with your partner approximately 1 to 2 weeks before your period every single month. So as someone who has suffered with PMDD for over 18 years, I dedicated my doctorate practice to helping partners navigate those monthly PMDD breakups with everything from attachment styles, triggers, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to touch, all of the things that you really struggle with when you're in PMDD. And I also dedicated my dissertation to a phenomenological study of the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who suffer with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So I'm not just here to help the sufferer, the one who is suffering with PMDD. I am here for the partners as well. So if you need those private sessions, make sure you go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those tools. So let's get into this week's PMDD Trauma Transformational tools that is going to help you stop the monthly breakups and stop the suffering and stress in your PMDD relationship. Let's get into it. PMDD partners, today I want to talk to you about one of the things that has really been damaging PMDD partners and a lot of my private clients, and then also me. I've really been dealing with this a lot within my own PMDD relationship, and it is overthinking. So a lot of times when you get into PMDD, you may begin to overthink a lot of the things that are going on within your PMDD relationship. And today I'm going to give you the tools of what you can do about it. I know a lot of times you go through this phase where you're questioning yourself. You're saying, is this something that I should be overthinking about? Is this really an important issue that I have? Or is this just PMDD? Am I thinking about this because I'm in PMDD? Or is it really an issue that I have with my PMDD partner? And it gets you into this realm of overthinking and spinning in your mind and not really understanding if this is a legitimate issue or if this is PMDD. And I know for me, I've been going through this because I have a lot of different issues that I've been working with my PMDD partner with about, and I've been overthinking every little thing. And it's almost like I'm waking up in the morning and I'm thinking about the issue again. And then I come to a solution for one day, and then I wake up in the morning the next day and I'm thinking about it again. And a lot of times my PMDD partner will know when I'm overthinking because he'll say, like, you're repeating yourself. And it's literally because these thoughts are ruminating in my mind, and I'm feeling like this is genuinely an issue that I have to come to a resolution about, or it's just like it's driving me crazy. And specifically when I'm in PMDD, it's like I can't stop the overthinking about things that are genuinely bothering me, but then I'm overthinking, are these things genuinely bothering me because I'm in PMDD? Or is this something that I actually need to address with my PMDD partner? And a lot of times we don't recognize how damaging the overthinking can be, because what it's doing is it's basically increasing your stress, your cortisol levels. It's causing you to be more stressed, to be more overwhelmed. You're asking yourself these questions. You're not really knowing if you have the answer to them, but you feel like you can't stop questioning them and overthinking them. And sometimes there's different ways where you can do it, where you're overthinking in your mind, or maybe you're having conversations where you're talking about the same thing again and again and again. And I know that's something that I'm definitely guilty of, which is bringing up an issue that I have with my PMDD partner 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, because I'm feeling like even if we came to a resolution, there is that fear of, okay, maybe it's going to happen again. Maybe we need to have a plan B and C and D. And so when you're going into the same thoughts repeatedly, again, in your mind, this is how you know that you're overthinking in PMDD. And it can really be harmful to your PMDD relationship because it can cause you to feel stuck, because you feel like you're stuck in this issue that you have with your PMDD partner. You're not able to see your way out of it. And you're feeling like you don't know what to do other than express it, right? So I'm going to give you 5 ways of how to stop the overthinking. These are my PMDD trauma transformational tools that I use with my private clients. And it's going to help you to stop this overthinking while you're doing it because you know that it's causing you stress. If you know that the overthinking is causing you stress, it's causing you anxiety, it's causing your partner to have anxiety, it's causing your partner to have stress, it's causing your partner to walk on eggshells because they feel like they can't do anything right. The first thing I want you to do is recognize when you're overthinking, right? I want you to be self-aware enough to understand when you're doing it. And I don't want you to feel bad about it. I know so many times when our PMDD partners call us out on something and they say, you're doing this and you're doing that, it could be a situation where they're saying something that you're actually doing, but you're feeling shame about them calling you out on it because it's like, I don't want to be doing this. I know that I'm doing it because of PMDD, and you're almost mad or resentful towards your PMDD partner for calling you out. But it is a good thing that your PMDD partner is helping you to recognize you're overthinking right now. And literally by coming to grasp with that and just saying it, you're overthinking right now. It stops you in your tracks because you can be spinning and ruminating in your head. And we don't know if these are intrusive thoughts, which are lies, or we don't know if this is facts. Like we need to get to that point, and we are going to get to that point in this episode. But the first thing I want you to do is to own up to the fact that you're overthinking. And I don't want you to feel shame and blame about it. I don't want you to feel like you're a bad person because you're overthinking. We all do it at some point. And a lot of times the things that we're overthinking about are things that are very important to us. So it's not a bad thing that you're overthinking. We just want to be able to stop it once it becomes a detriment and it's harmful towards you, towards your PMDD partner. I know for me, this has been going on for, I would say, about 2 months. And it causes me to second guess things. I was talking to one of my best friends, Angie, and I was mentioning it to her that I was doing this overthinking. And she was like, oh, I thought it was just me that noticed it, because you start doing something and then you're questioning why you're doing it, if you should be doing it, if you're doing it the correct way. And she said, you never used to do this. And I felt that because now I felt this level of anxiety because it's like I feel like I need to be perfect. I need to say and do things a certain way because I'm feeling like you know what it stems from? If your PMDD partner has criticized you for things, if they told you that you're not doing things the right way, you need to do things differently, this is hurting me that you're doing it this way, you get to the point where you start overthinking because you're trying not to do things a certain way, or you're trying to do things a certain way, and it causes you to overthink every single action that you take. And so the first PMDD trauma transformational tool is I want you to identify the thoughts or the situations that is triggering you overthinking. And for me, it is a lot of criticism that is coming from my PMDD partner where he's needing to be supported a certain way. And I've been so frustrated because in my mind, I feel like I'm being supportive. I feel like I'm being there. I feel like I'm being a good PMDD partner. And what I'm getting told from my partner is that you're not doing this right and I need this done differently. So it's caused me to overthink a lot of my actions, and it's caused me to have a high level of stress, and it causes me to be on high alert because I'm feeling like I'm not measuring up, I'm not good enough. And when you're in PMDD, you're already in that place where you're not feeling good enough. So when you get to a point where your PMDD partner is criticizing you, it's going to cause you to overthink. And this is a tool that you can use that I've been using to stop it in its tracks. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm here in Mexico right now for my birthday trip. And I've been trying to really enjoy so many aspects of it, but I've not been able to enjoy a lot of it because I've been overthinking. I've been overthinking about a lot of issues that me and my PMDD partner are having that I don't have solutions for, that is causing me to have a lot of stress and anxiety. And I've gotten to a place where the overthinking is taking a toll on my body, meaning I have a lot of fatigue when I go into PMDD, but the overthinking causes me to be more tired, to be more groggy. And you know why? Because it's messing with my sleep. and it's messing with my immune system. I just came off of like, I think it's like a 2 week cold flu, whatever it was that I had. It wasn't COVID, because I tested, but my immune system was so weak that I got sick and I kept reinfecting myself because I was doing this loop of overthinking. And it's almost like I remember I was thinking like, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to record a podcast for this week. And I literally barely had a voice because I was so stressed and I was so overwhelmed about overthinking a lot of things that are going on in my PMDD relationship that I haven't been able to get answers for. And it's causing me, it's almost like not having answers causes you to overthink even more. And so there's a lot of things that are going on, moving pieces in my PMDD relationship with my partner, where I told you he was having a lot of stress with his job and he's getting moved to a different assignment. And there's a lot of unknowns, and it's caused his mood towards me specifically to be completely different. I can honestly say I've never seen this side of my PMDD partner. I've never seen this side, and it's really been hard for me to navigate because I feel the pressure of being a supportive PMDD partner, a supportive wife, but the way that I'm being treated in the process is just mind-boggling. It's almost like if you see your partner and you see an aspect of them missing. And I know for me that I'm understanding why he's being that way, meaning he's suffering, he's going through a lot. But I just think that there has to be a line that's drawn between what you're accepting as your partner's going through something and then you actually feeling like you're getting, I don't want to use the word abused, like verbally, but I'm saying it's been rough. I'm going to say it's been rough with the lashing out, with the criticism, with the blaming. And I think a lot of times the criticism and the blaming hurts worse if you're genuinely trying. If somebody criticizes me and blames me for things and I'm not really trying, it's kind of like I'm not as offended because I'm like, oh, well, I probably need to work on that. Like, earlier in my journey, I was working on time management, and it's kind of like a thing. It's been like my lifelong journey, of being better with time. And so if someone says, "Oh my gosh, you're always late," it's kind of like I know, I'm working on that. But if someone says that you're not being loving, that you're not being patient, that you're not being affectionate, that you're not being a good, wife, a good partner, and you're literally putting forth so much effort towards that, then it's going to hurt you a lot worse because it's actually an area that you're consciously putting forth effort in. And then someone is telling you that you're not meeting the mark. And that's what's been going on in my PMDD relationship. And it's caused me to overthink because I'm over analyzing every little thing that I'm doing. And I'm doing it to my detriment. And I can tell you right now that the reason why I wanted to do this particular podcast was because I literally had to use these tools today. And I literally had to give myself like a pep talk and say, listen, you have to get a hold on this because it's taking a toll on your mental health, your physical health. You're exhausted. You can't do much because there's a lack of sleep that's going on because guess what? You're staying up at night because you're overthinking. Right. So the first PMDD trauma transformational tool to stop this overthinking is to recognize what is causing it. And like I gave you the example, for me, what's causing it is a lot of the criticism that I'm getting from my partner. For you, it may be something completely different. You may be getting criticism from other people, or you may be feeling like you need to be doing better in certain areas of your life. But when you are overthinking, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling on high alert. And it's almost like you can't calm down. And a lot of times, what I don't think that you recognize is what it's doing to your adrenal glands, what it's doing to your body to be in this constant state of stress and overwhelm when you're in PMDD. So basically, when you're in PMDD, your body is going through a lot by experiencing a multitude of symptoms. We all know the symptoms of PMDD, you know, overthinking is one of them. Actually, it's ruminating thoughts, intrusive thoughts, stress, anxiety, depression, all of these things, body aches. And it's really hard for your body and your mind to fight off so many things at one time. That's what makes PMDD so unique, is because we're not just fighting off anxiety. We're not just fighting off depression. We're not just fighting off, overthinking. We're fighting off all of these things at the same time. And your body only has so much capacity to do that. Your immune system only has so much capacity to do that. And that's why I wanted to share that I've been sick for 2 weeks and I'm just now recovering enough to where I'm able to record this podcast. But I wanted to make sure. I remember thinking, like, writing notes about the next episode that I was going to do. And I was like, I have to talk about this. Like, I could barely talk. Like, I sound like an 80-year-old man who smoked like a pack of cigarettes. And it's been so harmful for me. So outside of just not being able to sleep, so that's one of the ways where you may know that you're suffering with PMDD overthinking, like overthinking while you're in PMDD. And I say specifically PMDD overthinking because it's harder on your mind and your body. Like I said, when you're experiencing PMDD symptoms, if you're overthinking and you're not in PMDD, it may not take, that big of a toll on you. But if you're experiencing PMDD and you're overthinking, it's taking a toll on you. And let me tell you another thing that's happened today for me. I'm giving you the live, what can happen to you if you don't get a hold of this. I am 2 weeks away from my cycle. I'm 2 weeks away from my period right now. And because of my overthinking, my stress, my anxiety of the overthinking about everything that's going on, I literally went to the bathroom today and I'm like full on bleeding right now. And I know it's because my body is trying to fight off something and it doesn't have it in it. Like it's running on E. And so physically, this overthinking can take a toll on your body. It can elongate your period. It can make your period be longer. It can make your period be shorter. It can make you skip your period. It can cause it to be intermittent, which is probably what it's going to be like that for me this month. And who knows what that's going to look like for my cycle. Like, you literally mess up your hormones when you're doing this overthinking because your body is trying to find a way to regulate itself, but it doesn't have enough in it to fight off everything. And so the next PMDD trauma transformational tool that's going to help you to stop this overthinking is to write your thoughts down, to get them out of your head and onto paper. So for those of you who don't know, this month, November, which is my birthday month, by the way, and my birthday is November 29th. I have an amazing birthday offer for all of you. I'm only doing this once a year. And this year it is it's something like what I try to do every single year when I'm coming up with an offer that I'm going to offer on my birthday. And I know it's around Black Friday and I know it's around Cyber Monday and Cyber Week and all those things. I'm not really a traditionalist. So I'm not really like, oh, I'm going to give you an offer for Black Friday. I'm pretty sure your emails are already full of so many Black Friday offers, which is why I did not add to them, and so many Cyber Monday, Cyber Weeks. But I do have my birthday on November 29th, and I'm finally releasing a course that has been long overdue. And it is a question I always get from new clients, existing clients, all of the things. And it's a new course. It's a self-paced course that you can purchase on its own. And it's called My Partner Has PMDD, Now What? And this is basically a course that is going to go in depth to what PMDD is, what it is not, and what it looks like to be a supportive PMDD partner. Now, there are many, many modules that are included. There are workbook pages, there's actionable steps. I made this very interactive because I'm one of those people where I start courses, but I don't necessarily finish. So I make these courses very valuable to you because they're in a format that is going to help you to finish it and actually get what you need to get out of it. Because I know I had even recently, even the Breakup Proof Academy, I had a partner that was like, I just need to know what to do and what not to do. Like, that's all I need to know. I love your podcast. I love your videos, but I want like a straight guide to what is it that I'm supposed to be doing while my partner's in PMDD? What am I not supposed to be doing? And this is basically the course of what you wish your partner knew while you're in PMDD, what you wish your partner knew about PMDD, what you wish that they understood, because it's always different if it's not coming from you. I know if it's coming from you, it's like the, same old love song, like same old sad love song. Like it's almost like you're saying the same thing on repeat, but your PMDD partner is not really getting it. With this course, it is going to be coming from a professional. It's research based, and it's going to be giving you the do's and don'ts of having a partner that is actually supportive, of being a supportive PMDD partner, of getting that knowledge of what's really going on with your partner while they're experiencing PMDD, while they're suffering through PMDD. Because a lot of times I know that you can ask your partner, like, what is it that you're going through? What is it that I can do to help? And they're like, I don't know, because they don't have the capacity while they're in PMDD to actually say what it is that they need. So this course is going to answer all of those questions, because I know there's so many partners that genuinely want to be there. They want to be a better PMDD partner. It's not a sense of they are, trying to not be a supportive PMDD partner, or they're ignoring your issues. It's not that. It's just they genuinely don't know what to do. And this course is going to give them the tools on specifically what to do. So, what I was saying with this month of November is actually NaNoWriMo, which also you can call NaNoWriMo. Like, I don't know, it's NaNoWriMo, however you want to pronounce it, but it's National Novel Writing Month. So one of my best friends is also a writer. I'm a writer. And we have always gone every single month and we're like, we're going to write this book that's 50,000 words. And that's always the goal. I am like 24,000 something, something, something words there. I only have a couple more days to go. I went on a trip in Lake Tahoe and I did the bulk of it. I'm pretty much a person, and I did this all through getting my doctorate, my dissertation, where I can do stuff like I'll take like literally 4 to 6 hours and I'll do days worth of work versus doing a little bit each day. So even though I know I'm only halfway there and I only have like 5 more days or 6 more days in the month, I fully believe that I'm capable of finishing up this novel that I'm working on, that I want to release for the new year. That I think is also going to be really good. But click the link below. I'm going to put it in the show notes of the course, and it is My Partner Has PMDD, Now What? And the book will be coming. These are tools that I'm trying to give you that you can use on your own. So outside of my private sessions, outside of the Breakup Proof Academy, these are things that you can use. And I know going through the holidays is so hard. I've gotten so many DMs like, about you, and you're trying not to go off on your PMDD partner. You're trying not to go off on your PMDD partner's family. You're trying to sit around the table and look normal when you feel like you want to cry, or you feel like you want to just scream, or you feel like you want to cry and then scream, and you're forcing yourself in these social, situations where it's not really conducive for you, because you feel like you're at capacity. And so this is a lot of times where I'm saying this is where you may be able to use one of these tools, which is write your thoughts down and get them out of your head and onto paper. I said that because I've been journaling a lot more than usual because I've been overthinking. And sometimes when I do this, I look back at what I wrote. Like, I don't know if you've ever done this where you're writing when you're in PMDD and then you come out of PMDD and you look back on what you wrote and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what was that? Who was that? What was I thinking? I'm glad I didn't act on that, or I'm glad I didn't say that. A lot of times I'm so grateful that I got it out because it makes me feel better. But then also I'm glad that I didn't act on it. So writing it out on paper is a way to distract you from immediately acting on it. So when you're writing it down, I don't want you to act on it. I want you to just write it down, right? So you're writing everything out. I love to do bullet points. I'm not like if I'm writing out things that are going on in my mind where I'm overthinking, I'll literally do like a dash and then I'll write a thought and a dash and I'll write another thought. And this really helps me when I go back to try to identify the patterns in my overthinking brain. Right. And I identify a pattern, which is this is something that I use with my doctorate a lot because I did a phenomenological study and I had to identify patterns within PMDD partners. So I would take certain statements that they would make and I would say, okay, there's a pattern because they're saying the same thing. One of the things that was very prevalent in my dissertation study was a lot of PMDD partners that didn't have PMDD, they felt like they were walking on eggshells a lot. So they literally used that phrase. So I would like underline it, like walking on eggshells, walking on eggshells. Like, so it's called a thematic analysis. So I was noticing the themes that were going on with the PMDD partners. And so this is what I want you to do. This is why it's so beneficial to use bullet points, but however you need to write it out, feel free to write it out however you need to. But bullet points really help me. Also, bring your highlighters out. You may be highlighting different things. Always date. When you're journaling, always date what you're writing so that you know what time of the month that you're writing it, right? Because a lot of times you're overthinking the same thought at the same time of the month, like a month later. My PMDD partner has called me out on this so many times. And he was like, it seems like every single time this time of year, we have the same kind of argument. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, and I know that it's a very humbling thing to do because a lot of times we don't want to be the ones that are admitting that we're doing this. We don't want to admit that we have all of these thoughts going on. But the quicker that you're able to identify the pattern, the quicker that you're able to stop it. So just like you track your PMDD symptoms, I want you to track your overthinking thoughts. And then when you're able to track them, then when the thoughts come up again that same time of the month, you can say, oh, I'm overthinking. And then you can kind of shift gears and understand that this is what you're doing. So the next PMDD trauma transformational tool is give yourself some time to calm down and relax before addressing the issue that you have with your PMDD partner. Whatever the issue is that you have with your relationship, whatever the issue is that you have with your partner, give yourself some time to calm down. I know for me, moving my body is a must. Whenever I'm overthinking, this is why I do my PMDD partner's morning routine because a lot of my overthinking happens in the morning. First thing I wake up in the morning, it's literally like I open my eyes and it's like, like it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. So before I address anything with my PMDD partner, I always make sure that I go through my morning routine and it takes like 90 minutes at this point. And that includes like walking my dog, getting some movement in, doing some journaling, listening to some music. Music is amazing for me. It's really been good for shifting my mood. I've been waking up in PMDD in like these emo moods, like really depressed, really down. And I've had to put on this high energy music. And it literally causes my body to like shift and be like, okay, we're doing this. Because if I stay in that place, I literally feel heavy. It literally feels heavy in my body. So once you've identified the thoughts and the situations that are triggering your overthinking, like we just talked about, now you give yourself some time to calm down and relax before you address them and even decide which things that you want to address. There's a lot of times I'll have, issues with my PMDD partner and I'll ask myself, is it worth it? There's a saying, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Meaning, does this matter enough to bring up to your PMDD partner, or is this something that you're having an issue with because you're in PMDD? This is where my private sessions are very useful because we go through the thoughts that you're overthinking about. A lot of times for your PMDD partner, it can be very stressful if you're consistently going to them with every single thing that you overthink about. And I know that you feel this insatiable need to do so, but I also want you to really understand that it's a lot for your PMDD partners to take on. Like I've had private sessions with the partners that don't have PMDD, and they're like, I feel like it's always something. Like, I feel like I can't do anything right. Every single time I turn around, they're telling me that I'm doing this wrong. They're telling me that I should be doing this differently. And it's like sensory overload. Like, I need a break. And so this is when my private sessions, this is why I say have them monthly, because every single week, I know I know that you're having things that are coming up in your mind that you're overthinking about. I do. And I have the tools. And I remember what it felt like to not use the tools, to not really talk it out. And I already told you what that looks like in my body. Like I've literally had to take a break today and I'm just like, I need to do some deep breathing, to take a walk by the beach. I had been going, overthinking, planning excursions. I've literally rode a camel since I've been here. I've been on ATVs. I was trying to ride a horse today, like whatever I could get my hands on, I was trying to do. Like I'm one of those high functioning PMDD people where I want to do all of the things to distract myself from my suffering. Like, yeah, that's a thing. We'll talk about that on another episode, but yeah, that's me. And so I just had to take a break because when I noticed that I was starting to like bleed and it wasn't even my cycle, I'm like, okay, my body is exhausted. My body is depleted because my mind is overthinking. And so when you're taking a break from the overthinking, you have to do something that you enjoy. And for me, it can't be strenuous. So like I told you, I use working out, moving my body as one of my tools for my morning routine. A lot of times, if I am in this place of overthinking and overwhelm, I'll do bar, which I love. It's a mixture of ballet and Pilates. I will do that. And it's a lot of pulsing. It's no high impact. I'm not hopping all around. I'm not lifting any heavy weights. I'm just doing what feels good in my body. I have my headphones on. I'm listening to music that I love. Here they have like a Brazilian hot tubs. I've been just like laying in the hot tub. They have these egg chairs. Oh my gosh. Like they're like literally like cocoons where I wish I could spend all of PMDD in. But I've been laying in the cocoons. Yesterday, I was actually out there and I fell asleep. Our daughter and my partner text me like, "Are you okay? You've been gone for a while." And it's literally because I went into one of those cocoons and I literally just fell asleep and allowed myself to relax because when you're in this place of overthinking, you're exhausted. And so when your mind and your body, if you're getting to this place of you're recognizing that you've been overthinking in PMDD and you're like, yeah, I need to do something about it, expect to crash. Expect for when you finally lean into these tools for your body to just be like, finally, because you're finally going to be giving your body and your mind what it needs. And that's rest. And I know that we always want these dopamine hits of, I need to feel like I'm doing something. I need to feel like I'm accomplishing something. So, what I've had to do for me is I've had to replace what I consider like a dopamine hit, meaning I always feel good about myself after I had like a sweaty workout. So sometimes I'll say, okay, well, I did my workout. I didn't sweat as much, but I did some journaling afterwards. Like you have to replace it with something else. Or maybe you take away something like you wanted to eat the junk food, but then you didn't eat the junk food. So now you're proud of yourself. Like that's the dopamine hit. What you're trying to do is get the dopamine hit, which is the accomplishment of completing a task without taxing your mind and your body by overthinking it and by doing more. So we just want to relax. And the next PMDD trauma transformational tool is to talk to a professional about what's going on in your mind. This is where my private sessions come in. I have already released the Stress Free with PMDD Partners package, where we meet every single week and you really go through everything that's going on in your PMDD brain, what you're overthinking about. This genuinely helps because it helps you to get a perspective, right? Like you need to see things clearly. Sometimes when you're just thinking about it to yourself, you're not really understanding like what's going on. You need a different perspective. You need someone to say, okay, does this sound rational? Does this sound, and not just anyone, someone that actually knows what they're talking about, that knows about PMDD. And that's why I provided that Stress Free with PMDD Partners package. So if you've not taken advantage of that, I'm putting the link in the show notes. It is where we meet every single week for 60 to 90 minutes. And we just talk about what's going on with you and your PMDD partner, with you, with PMDD, with everything that you're going through. And if you're not sure about how to start that conversation, because you really don't know what it is that you're overthinking about, or you're just like, I know that I need to talk to someone, but it may not make sense. I know a lot of times you may beat yourself up because it doesn't sound the way you want it to sound. I know exactly what you're going through. I know that when I'm in PMDD, I'm way more descriptive. I go all around before I get to the point, and that's fine. Like, there's no judgment when it comes to these sessions. There's no perfect way to get it out. It's just a matter of getting it out. And what I've heard from my private clients is they've gotten a lot of clarity. And sometimes that's all we need. All we need is clarity of like, okay, I'm clear on what this is. I can move forward now. A lot of times you won't be able to move forward with the overthinking if you're not clear. So I want to make sure that I give you that opportunity. So if you've not gotten that, I can only take a small amount of private PMDD partners. So if it's you and your partner, either one is fine, but make sure that you grab those spots, because for the month of December, I'm only taking a certain amount of clients. And after that is full, I'll have to move you to the next month. But I want you to be able to have that continuity. I have PMDD partners that have been working with me for years at this point, where every single week we meet. And it's easy to just know that you have that time where you know that, hey, I have things going on in my mind. I don't have to overthink it because I'm going to talk with Dr. Rose about it like on Thursday or Tuesday or Monday. Because what happens is when you work with me as a private client, you have a day of the week. We meet on that day of the week and we meet at the same time. So you don't have to like second guess it or overthink it. The only time that really changes is during holiday weeks. Like, I know I've moved around a lot of my private clients this week because I've been on holiday here in Mexico, which apparently is not a holiday, but that's a whole another thing. Like, apparently in Mexico and my European PMDD partners, that like Thanksgiving is not like a holiday, but it is here in the US. And that's why I'm out. But I've been able to move my client sessions around because the continuity that is needed, meaning the constant of having someone to talk to on a weekly basis to just run things by, is so helpful when you go back to your PMDD partner, because again, for them, it can be really overwhelming. So I want you to really focus on the fact that overthinking is something that you should really be taking seriously for your mind, for your body. A lot of times you don't know what's going on with your body until it shows you. Like, for me, I was feeling the stress and the anxiety about overthinking, but I had no idea it was taking such a big toll on my body until I started spotting, until I started bleeding. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've gone too far. And I don't want you to get to this point where you have to go too far in order to know that it's something that you really just need an outlet with. So overthinking it's a tough habit to break. If you know that every single time something happens, you start to overthink it, that means it's a habit, but it's possible. And these are the ways that you can stop the overthinking in its tracks, right? You stop it immediately, and then you're able to move forward. Like I said on the last episode, I will be providing these tools for you. If you want the workbook for this particular episode, you can go to the link in this episode. It'll be available for you. And then also the Stress Free with PMDD Partners package. And lastly, the course, My Partner Has PMDD. Now what? You're not going to want to miss this. For the special, for this course, for the first 25, 25 PMDD partners, you're going to get a discount, and it's going to be $50 off. And then after that, it's going to go back to full price. So you're not going to want to miss this. This is something that is not really out there. It's not out there in a whole course format with the workbooks and all the things. So make sure that you take advantage. Be one of the first 25 PMDD partners to get it. You'll get it for $50 off. And I look forward to seeing you in the Breaker Proof Academy. If you're not a member, I don't know what you're waiting for. Wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this on the In Love with PMDD TV, make sure you press the subscribe button. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please, please, please do me a favor and write me a 5-star written review. So when I'm learning about the algorithm, what I'm noticing is that when you write a review, when you put the 5 stars, it helps other PMDD partners find our episodes, find our show. What I found during this holiday season, and I guess it's during the algorithm because I just got on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok, or if you are on TikTok, you can follow me on there now. But I've had a lot of PMDD partners reach out to me and say, I wish I would have found you earlier. I've already broken up with my PMDD partner, or I was already suffering, or thank goodness I found you. Like, let's work together now. And that's what I'm noticing, that I need your help with getting the visibility out here. So if you're listening to this episode, you know that it's helped you. I want you to share this episode with your audience, share it on your feed, write a 5-star written review, subscribe if you're on YouTube, because I really want to be able to help as many PMDD partners as I can. And I know that them getting these tools is really going to be that fork in the road that's going to help them. It's really something that I know that I wish that I had earlier in my journey. And you may be in that place where you wish that you had heard about me earlier. But make sure that you subscribe, write a written review, share this on your feed, and I will see you next week. We got this. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners Workbook. What this workbook can do is, if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start Workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD rage and all of these things, so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship, so you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.